Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you back to the Dynamic Decisions podcast, where we explore the strategies that drive successful decision-making in the world of business. Why? Because the best decisions come from great conversations. I'm your host, Teasha Cable, CEO of C-Model Data, and today we have an awesome guest who's at the forefront of SaaS innovation and operational excellence. Her name is Kseniia. She's the Chief Operating Officer at Ardas Group. With her extensive experience spanning product management, operations, and business development across Fintech, Martech, and logistics, she has been instrumental in helping artists to grow their revenues while building their client base and building awesome SaaS solutions. We want to thank you so much, Kseniia, for being here today. Welcome to the show. Super thrilled. Could you tell us more about you, about Ardas Group, and how you're transforming SaaS development for over 6 years now as COO?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Hi, Teasha. Thank you for having me. It's a big opportunity for me. I really appreciate this. And I'll try to be very useful guest for you and share all expertise or insights that I have for this so short format of the podcast. So yeah, quick about me. In software development industry for 15 years already. I started as a project manager and naturally I grew to a chief operating officer. I was project manager, product manager, head of delivery, business analyst at some points. I worked my way up from the very beginning of my career. Currently, I'm not being only a chief operating officer at my company for what I'm working. Also, I'm a student. I'm getting an MBA degree because I decided that that is something that naturally comes for me. And yes, I have ton of experience. However, that would be very nice to polish it with academic knowledges. Also, I'm doing a digital trustee role. So I'm helping to third sector companies. I have one company with me and I'm assisting them in their digital transformation. This is pro bono job. I just want to give back to my community to help people to understand that they are not alone and they could get help. Yeah, so if talking about Ardas Group, our company is quite old on the market. We are 20 years already on the market. Yeah, so for a company in software development industry, if you are not IBM, Oracle, or other big bosses, that's quite a long time. Our company started as a very, very small company with 4 of our co-founders, and we evaluated to Ardas Group, where we have 3 own products and we have service part where I'm responsible for operations. Yes, as you mentioned, our main focus is SaaS, so we definitely know how to help companies to achieve their business goals within technological support. And our sectors, our domains where we are really good at, that's transportation, that's Martech, that's medicine. We have quite a few projects with in IoT industry, and we have massive R&D center for AI and ML. And now we started to do it before it started to be popular. So we dealing with AI and ML, I think for last 7 years for our own products. And now it's quite a buzzword and everyone wants to have AI on board, even if they don't need it.
That's funny, right? Even if they don't, or they don't know how they need it, right? So even if they don't have a business case, they're like, give me some AI. And really, there's probably a use case for them. It's just, it needs to be defined, right? Yeah.
Quite often people need AI for marketing perspective.
Yeah.
And not for technological, but for marketing. And honestly, sometimes it's so unfair.
Yeah.
When you cannot be cool if you're not saying these trendy buzzwords. When you see that from technical standpoint, this product, they don't need it. But they still have, as they want to be modern and they want to be trendy, they have to use it. It's something that, it's new reality and we cannot force it. We need to obtain. We need to understand how to use it for our greater good.
Yeah. Hey, so Ardas has built some remarkable solutions, from financial platforms handling over, $190 million worth of contracts annually, to logistics systems processing 170,000 plus loads per month for over 7,000 businesses. I mean, can you share some of your insights on how you align operational strategies with these diverse client needs? I'm wondering what kinds of decisions you actually find yourself making that directly impact the customer experience and drive scalable growth across so many varied industries.
Thank you. That's a great question. It's really, sometimes I'm facing very tough decisions, and I'm facing very, very tough trade-offs. However, the key here is communication with your client. I know it's nothing new, and if you waited for silver bullet, that's not about silver bullet. That's about your personal leadership, your leadership style, how you lead process, not only people, how you lead process, how you lead communication. And the most important thing here is to be able to listen to your client and be in a contact with them all the time, because it's very, very rare situation when client just in the middle of nowhere would pop up to me and say, oh, from tomorrow I need plus 10 more people. When you're always in communication, when you're performing a quarter business review sessions and you know where they are moving, I could simultaneously help them. I could hire more people. I could reshuffle people between projects. I could take someone from product if it's hardly necessary. I could find very niche expertise for these people. We have our core team on each project, and on top of that, we could add different specialists who are needed. And again, when you really, really carefully listening to your client and you understand their plans, it's very, very easy to be able to serve their needs. And also, it's important to analyze market. So what trends are, what people are doing now, because if you're just sitting in your box, you cannot provide a good level of expertise. Every day learning something new, we're doing something new, we're trying to obtain new expertise. I'm quite often talking to clients during our pre-sale phase, and if I cannot speak with them in the same language, that would be not a good day for me.
So what I'm interested in where you're going is, so that the depth of knowledge about the customer itself, plus this combination of market probably analytics and market knowledge, maybe from being in the space, and your collective expertise becomes your unique value for your organization. Can you talk a little bit more about how you work to combine those things? Like, what are some of the frameworks that you use to make sure that you in your decision making are accommodating for each one of those perspectives?
Great question. So what is important that each our customer, each our client has assigned account manager. So account manager, it's a person who is in charge of business part. So we have project manager who is more technical person, and we have account manager who are more pro business. And that is their responsibility to find out about business needs, business goals, business plans of our client. With our project managers and with our account managers, we have weekly meetings about products. So they keep me on the loop all the time about our clients, what they're doing, what they're planning. I think if you're talking in a perspective of software development frameworks, I would say that we're using Scrum One, that we gather in all tasks that should be done and moving forward them. Some specific operational framework, I don't think so that we're using something unique. However, a very important part is the change management.
Tell me more about that. Like, let's dig in on change management, because that's one of the hardest things to manage. Tell me your process around change management, and also tell me what's wrong. Tell me what hurts. Where are the gaps when you're trying to manage change, especially from a human perspective?
So we're using very, very classic change management framework. So first of all, we gather information, analyze, build our goals, building plans for that, and we always start with education part. So we share with people what this change will be about, how it will be performed, what outcomes, what goals we are following there. Also, it's very important to be sure that people have all needed tools. You cannot ask person to drive a car if person has no car. So before implementing any changes, I make sure that people have knowledge about that. They have tools. They understand all processes. And after each iteration, I'm gathering review. So feedback. We actively using feedback loop. So we always asking people how you feel about that, what you think should be done better. Always retrospective discussions in order to be able to adapt and to improve our operation excellence every day. Like, let's back to pandemic. When pandemic started, no one were ready to work in such totally new conditions. Yes, some companies, they were remote first, so they had this very easy way to operate remotely, but most of the companies, they were terrified. And I remember how in one day we changed our operations from office only to remote only. And how we faced with problems with, for instance, hiring new people, how to send them documents to sign. It's the very first topic and very first issue that we had to solve.
So this is interesting. I want to stay on this topic. How do you actually solve some of these problems? So we know that you guys are expanding too internationally. So you can keep this idea of how we managed through what happened when we had a whole new way that we had to work. But I would imagine that the same thing is in play as you think about your global expansion. You got offices in Ukraine, the UK, the USA, the Netherlands. You're serving clients across European countries and in the US. How do you make sure that your 148 person team remains equipped to adapt to all these changing customer expectations, market expectations, right? Because we're also dealing with a global market. How do you do this, especially when you're competing in all these sort of sectors, including AI driven fintech, including marketing automation? I'm really curious. So you can leverage where you started in this conversation, talking about the change post COVID to like, and we're like a global organization. How do you keep your team aligned and on the same page? You can stay on the topic of change management, but really just even in general.
So a little bit with the COVID situation, so we had to change all our operation model in one day. Effectively, when we've got directive from government that we cannot work in the office, this day we closed offices, we took all our equipment, and that's it. And from the next day, we started totally remote. So with what we started, that was SLA for each team. So service level agreement. So we agreed for each team, they have their own path, their own dynamics. They agreed that, for instance, they have overlapping hours, like between, I don't know, 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. So this is this time when everyone is available. That was the first thing, because people have different schedules. So someone likes to start early, someone likes to start late. So it depends. However, we have to be available for at least 60% of the business time when everyone in the same time zone. Also, we started to have like once a week meeting with like teams. They were meeting between each other. We had like virtual coffee room where everyone from company could jump on the call and talk to other people to give feeling that they are not sitting alone at home. Plus, during the COVID, we started very cool initiative inside company walking challenge, and in a few days we will start again it. So every year in May, June, we have this walking challenge. The idea is that everyone who is signed in for this challenge, they walk at least 5 kilometers per day, and they share in results in special chat with all other coworkers.
I love that. Okay, come on, walking challenge. Everyone needs a walking challenge in their company.
Yeah, and it's really easy. It's zero investment. We have prizes, but I mean, you don't need any equipment. You don't need to hire any room or to hire some special people. So the idea is that you every day you log in the amount of steps and kilometers, miles, whoever it is you've done, and you share it with your peeps in this group. And by the end of the challenge, we have a few nominations like the longest distance by foot, the longest distance by bicycle, by run. So we have three directions in this walking challenge, and it really gather people together. So they know even that they are in different parts of country or the world, they still feel that they're together. They are part of something. They are part of the company. When we started to be a very remote company, we opened for ourselves a new markets. So before, when we all went to the office, we were able to hire people from our city or people who were willing to move to our city. And with the totally remote part, we started to be able to hire people all over Ukraine from other countries, and it really helped us to expand our horizon through the workforce. And plus, it's added for us a business contingency plan, because the parts when you have people in different countries in one project, so they could support each other, for instance, on different holidays. Like each country could have their own holidays, like bank holidays, and people support each other. Plus, the more cultural difference you have inside your company, the more it helps people to be adaptable, to be resilient.
Talk about how that diversity actually makes a difference. Diversity of thought, diversity of process. I mean, it just starts to really find its way in your company's identity and ability to adapt. I love that. That's a strong point.
For instance, for managers, we have body of knowledge where all processes described how project should be run, everything starting with the pre-sale process and finishing like with handover. So there is a whole book how to run process, how to run a project. You just open it and follow it from A to Z and you'll be fine. However, it's not mandatory. For me, it's like it's like PMBOK, so a project management book of knowledge. So you learn basics, but you adapt, because with different our big advantage now is that our CEO, he in States and I'm in Scotland. We really feel how business cultures are different, and we could adapt, we could understand with clients from different countries. We have slightly different styles in communication, slightly different styles in change management, in communication, in stakeholder management. And it's something that you should be always up to date and you should share with your team members. So it starts with project management office, and after that it goes to teams. And plus, I like to talk to our teams in person. So it's not like I'm sitting very lonely in a chamber and thinking my thoughts. No, I'm a playing coach, and I always on the field, and I'm working together with teams and not just giving them a piece of advice.
Yeah, but really guiding them through the process. So I want to move to our favorite part of this podcast. It is to explore your decision-making style. I'm going to conduct a persona assessment. I'm going to ask you 4 different questions that represent different decision-making approaches. Mm-hmm. And for each one, you're going to tell me if the way I ask the questions resonates with how you typically approach your decision-making. and you're going to give it to me on a scale of 0 to 100%. But across all 4, you have 100% total. So you have to keep that in mind. So you have 4 questions, you get 100%, and you can go 0 to 100% on each, but you only get 100% for all 4. Okay?
So 25% per question.
If you were to kind of do it that way, right? But normally it's going to vary a little bit, right, when you do it. All right, so I'm going to start. I'll tell you first what the persona is, and then I'll get to the question. So the first persona is called the feeler. It's a values-driven leader. So this persona prioritizes alignment with core values and mission, often weighing the human impact and cultural fit of decisions alongside business metrics. So for example, this feeler person, when I'm facing a major product or operational decision, I ask myself, does this align with our mission to create scalable, innovative SaaS solutions that genuinely solve business problems? Even if a more profitable feature might serve larger enterprise clients, I need to feel confident that we're truly enabling businesses of all sizes to succeed with technology that enhances their operations and growth. How much of you resonates with that persona?
Quite a lot, because for me it's important to bring value to business. We have clients with whom we are working 13 years, and if you're not bringing value, you're changing your service for money, you will not have this type of partnership. You really should care about your client, and you really should care about value that you bring to their table every day.
Yep. So how much of you? What's your percentage?
So I have 100%, and for this I have 25%. Yes.
Okay. You can say 25. You can say more if you want to, but you can say 25 to start. Okay.
Let's say, let's start it.
Say 30%? Okay. 30%. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. So the next one is called the planner. It's a strategic visionary. So this persona focuses on long-term implications and future-proofing decisions, always thinking several moves ahead and considering multiple scenarios. When I'm making strategic decisions about our SaaS products or operational processes, I ask myself, what are the long-term implications this choice for the SaaS industry evolution over the next 5 to 10 years? I need to map out how AI adoption, market consolidation, and enterprise requirements will evolve across Fintech, Martech, and logistics sectors, ensuring that our solutions and team capabilities position us for multiple futures in an increasingly competitive landscape. How much of you ask the question like that?
That's a lot. I would say 25%. I don't know what would be next question, but while you are asking me stuff that really matters and that are really, really important.
Yes. I mean, that's the goal. I make it difficult on purpose. So this one is called the counter. It's the challenger of assumptions. So this persona naturally questions conventional wisdom and looks for contrarian opportunities, often finding success by zigging when others zag. When evaluating new opportunities or product directions, I ask myself, what assumptions are we making about SaaS development and scaling that might be fundamentally wrong? What is everyone else in our space doing that we should question? I tend to dig into why certain development processes or business models work a certain way and whether there's a more efficient, innovative approach that the industry isn't seeing, especially given our unique position with both client work and proprietary products.
So we had 30% for first one, 25 for second, that is 55, and I have 45 to go. I like to ask these questions. I really like to ask these questions, and sometimes I'm like a test driver. I really like to think, to model, to ask questions. I'm quite often, the bad cop. When we like talking with our senior management, I would be that person who will be, what if, and what if this situation, how you think this, what if we would have this scenario. It's really helpful when we are performing our yearly pastel analysis. So when we really need to understand, to forecast things, I would say 25%.
Okay. 25%. Okay, here's your last one. Ready? All right, so this one is called the data driver, evidence-based decision maker. So this persona relies heavily on metrics, analytics, and concrete evidence to validate their decisions, preferring proof over intuition. Before making important decisions about product development, operational scaling, or market expansion, I ask myself, what does our performance data actually tell us about user engagement, development efficiency, and market demands across our different verticals? I want to see concrete analytics on everything from our 90% estimate accuracy rate to user adoption patterns on Stripe, processing volumes on the logistics platforms, and financial performance metrics. That way I can validate or contradict our strategic instincts about where to invest our resources next.
Foo, 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 foo. As operation leader, I should put all 100% on this question. However, we know that when you first line of client facing, you cannot hide in behind numbers. You cannot hide behind figures. Yeah, so that goes, it takes the last 20%, even that I think it's something that we are currently improving in our company to have more figures, to have more data for analysis, to understand better how we could improve our excellence, how we could improve our service. And you could never be ideal in this area. That's a very good example for me, as I've said to you, that I'm a student now, but I'm done with all my courses and I'm working on my dissertation now.
Yeah. Congratulations on that, by the way. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we had a leadership challenge a few weeks ago, and 3 days we were solving real life case for our client, and that is something so close to your questions that you asked me, because we never, as a leader, you're never static. So leadership is being able to put yourself in someone's booth and to put different hats on your head during the day and based on tasks that you are doing currently. So yeah, I would say that you can distribute 100% equally between all these roles, but when you see where you put the last, that means that is your huge field for improvements.
That's right. So you are 30% feeler, 25% planner, 25% counter, and 20% data driver. And you just gave great advice to leaders across our listenership. I want to thank you so much, Kseniia. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your expertise. Would you share with everyone where they can learn more about you and more about Ardas Group?
Yeah, Teasha, first of all, thank you for having me. That's a great pleasure to have this conversation. You could find information about us on our website, ardas-it.com. You could text me right to my LinkedIn page. I'm always very happy to have a WeChat with people to jump on a very short, like e-meeting, e-coffee. Honestly, one person first time suggested me to have a virtual coffee. I'm like, whoa, 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 is it legal? But it's a great format, like 30 minute conversation over the cup of tea or cup of coffee, and it really helps to build more bridges between people.
For sure.
Yeah, and for modern leaders, I would say that, guys, don't be afraid to change.
Yes. Come on. Don't be afraid to change.
Yeah, grow every day, go together with new knowledge, with new technologies. That the moment that you stop moving, you will be doomed. My favorite child book is Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, and I don't remember who said that. I think I don't remember, but I remember the phrase that in order to be able to walk in this world, you should run very fast. In order to move somewhere, you should run even faster.
Wow.
So currently, we should run not just faster, we should run twice faster. So as I really recommend everyone move as fast as you can.
Thank you for that. That's so insightful. Thank you so much, Kseniia. Thank you. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Remember, the best decisions come from great conversations. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate it, share it with your network. Let's keep the conversation going on social media using Dynamic Decisions Podcasts. And until next time, keep questioning, keep growing, and keep leading with purpose.